Hello my bookish lovelies, Kira here, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I really hope to read in the month of October. Once again, most of these videos are pretty much my hopefuls. Like, I am not guaranteed to get to some of these books, and some months are harder than others. So depending on the kind of month that I've had will depend on how far I get in my TBR. I've been trying to prioritize my arcs though, because the arcs that I've been reading have been coming out in the month that I've designated to read them in. I would say that I was procrastinating, and maybe I did just a little bit, but overall, I've been trying to keep up with it, and I've been doing a pretty good job. With that being said, there are going to be maybe an arc or two in this again from NetGalley, because I have, I think, another at least 8 books, 3 of which are coming out before the end of the year, and 5 of which are coming out next year to get through. But we are in the middle of a spooky season right now, so I'm going to talk about all the spooky books that I hope to get to in the month of October. So first of all, I was going to try to do a thing in October because I have been wanting to read more junjiito, and I seem like I kind of gravitate further away from junjiito the further away from Halloween we get. So I was actually going to try to read, I have 4 junjiito books. I was going to try to read and review 1 book per week on my channel for the month of October to celebrate the spooky season. So the first book, I'm actually already almost through this, and it's Shiver. This is another collection of short stories. This is actually one of Junji Ito's older collection. I have read Uzumaki by Junji Ito, which I loved. I loved Uzumaki so far. That's been my favorite one so far. And I also read Tomi. Tomi, a little bit less. But this is actually one of his higher rated books. I was looking for some of his higher rated books, and then I picked up a few of his newer ones. These are all manga horror books that I kind of want to talk about. And I love it because there's so much variety in Japanese horror. I remember that I had really fond memories of going to Blockbuster when I was a kid in high school. I know that dates me, but I used to go there and I would pick out all of these really interesting Japanese horror flicks, which you will never ever 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 see horror done the way the Japanese do it. I am very excited because I really want to dig into more Asian horror. I think this is going to be a perfect opportunity for me to do that. So Shiver's the first one. I've actually almost finished with that one. The next one is going to be Lovesickness. This is also a fairly new release. NetGalley rejected me for it, and that's fine. I'm going to read it anyway. So this, I don't know if this is a collection of short stories or not, or if it's kind of a cohesive story. I have mixed emotions because I'm not a huge short story fan, but so far I'm kind of really enjoying Shiver. But I really liked Uzumaki because they were a bunch of short stories that kind of cascaded into a cohesive whole at the end. Tomi didn't really do that, one of the reasons I wasn't a huge fan. So I'm not really sure. It says, Rizuki returns to the town where he once lived when rumors begin swirling about girls killing themselves after encountering a bewitchingly handsome young man. Harboring his own secret from his time spent in this town, Rizuki attempts to capture the beautiful boy and close the case, starting with a strikingly bloody Lovesickness. This volume collects 10 stories showcasing horror master Junji Ito woman. So this is another collection of short stories. The other 2 books that I have that I want to read by Junji Ito is Censor, and I've heard a lot of interesting things about this. A woman walks alone at the foot of Mount Sengoku. A man appears saying he's been waiting for her and invites her to a nearby village. Surprisingly, the village is covered in hair-like volcanic glass fibers, all shining bright gold. The night, as the villagers gaze up at the starry sky, countless unidentified flying objects come raining down on them, an opening act for the terror about to occur. Wow, so this is probably going to be kind of super dark. This is one of the newer releases. I think this is his newest release, so I kind of want to dig into that too. The 4th Junji Ito book that I really hope to get to is Remina, and this is this is also a science fiction horror, and I actually have conflicting feelings about science fiction horrors. Some of them are good, some of them are not. Actually, a lot of them are not. So it'll be interesting to see if I like this. An unknown planet emerges from inside a wormhole, and its discoverer, Dr. Ogoro, christens the body Remina after his own daughter. His finding is met with great fanfare, and Remina herself rises to fame. However, the object picks up speed as it moves along in its curious course, eliminating planets and stars one after another, until finally Earth itself faces extinction. Is the girl Remina the true cause of the catastrophe? A masterwork of horror from Junjiito, unfolding on a universal scale. The planet noticed our existence. So we'll see if I like that one. I love the covers on these two. Censor and Remina seem like they're going to be cohesive stories, while Lovesickness and Shiver look like they're going to be short stories. Still doing the monthly read. I did not get as far in my bulky books as I would have liked, so I still have this chunker to get through, Ruin. I'm going to be hoping to aim to be a lean, mean reading machine in the month of October, because I have a lot that I really want to get through, and I have less arcs this month that I have to worry about. I am determined also to do Tenderistheflesh reading vlog, hopefully like this coming weekend. I know like this is like my third month I've had this on my TBR, and I am just ready to read it. Like I was ready to read it like 2 months ago, like when I started putting this on my TBR, but I like to break stuff up in between with like lighter stuff, because if I read all dark stuff all the time, I mean that's just kind of be a mood killer. I mean, I can't do that. Like, I'm such a mood reader, and I have to make sure like that I keep it peppy, you know? Another thing that I did not get to that I really want to get to this month is Dune, because the movie is coming out, and I've heard like mixed things, of course, like about like how people are experiencing like this. Some people say it's really, really good, just takes a little bit, and some people are really struggling with it. So I want to see where I'm going to end up on the spectrum of things. Some of the other books I really kind of hope to get to, I'm kind of hoping like to throw these kind of into the mix of things to keep things light and peppy. And this is kind of like the it book like right now for romance. It is the X Hex by Erin Sterling, and everybody in Book Talk's been talking about this. Everybody, like this is such a popular book like right now. And it says 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on a horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivian knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchard hayride scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. That is until Rice Penhallow, descendant of the town's ancestors, breaker of hearts and annoyingly just as gorgeous as he always was, returns to Graves Glen, Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall fair turns disastrously wrong. With one calamity after another strikingly rise, Vivi realizes her silly little X Hex may not have been so harmless after all. Suddenly Graves Glen is under attack from murderous wind-up toys, a pissed-off ghost, and a talking cat with some interesting things to say. Vivi and Rice have to ignore their off-the-chart chemistry to work together to save the town and find a way to break up the curse before it's too late. I'm really excited for this. And actually, like, I think this is going to be like a super quick read. The other one that I really hope to get to, it's Sapphic, and it is After Love. Not every death will tear them apart. I got this in one of my book boxes. This is a Sapphic book about female Grim Reapers. Car headlights. The last thing Ash hears is the snap of breaking glass as the windscreen hits her and shatters into a million pieces like stars. But she made it. She's still here, or is she? This New Year's Eve, Ash gets an invitation from the afterlife. She can't decline, to join a clan of fierce girl reapers who take the souls of the city's dead to await their fate. But Ash can't forget her first love, Poppy, and she will do anything to see her again, even if it means they only get a few more days together, dead or alive. Ooh. Yeah, so I gotta keep it light. So let's go ahead and move on to what I want to read for my arcs, because this is basically like towards the end of it. I say every single month, I'm going to keep it light this month. I'm not going to put a ton of stuff on my TBR, but when you have a never-ending TBR, are your monthly TBRs ever really light? I don't think so. Within These Wicked Walls. This is a book that's coming out on October 19th, and I got approved from NetGalley for an ARC. It's Lauren Blackwood's can't miss debut in a magical Ethiopian-inspired remix of Jane Eyre. I know, I love Jane Eyre, so it's gonna be good. What the heart desires, the house destroys. Andromeda is a Debtura, an exorcist hired to cleanse houses of the evil eye. She would be hired, that is, if her mentor hadn't thrown her out before she could earn her license. Now her only hope of steady work is to find a patron, a rich, well-connected individual who will vouch for her abilities. When a handsome young heir named Magnus Rochester reaches out to hire her, she takes a job without question, never mind that he's rude and demanding and eccentric, and the contract comes with a number of outlandish rules, and that almost a dozen Debtera have quit before her. If Andromeda wants to earn a living, she has no choice. But she quickly realized that this is a job like no other, with horrifying manifestations at every turn, and that Magnus is hiding far more than she has been trained for. Death is the more likely outcome if she stays, the reason every Debtera quit before her, but leaving Magnus to live out his curse alone isn't an option because, heaven help her, she's fallen for him. Oh, and because there wasn't enough red flags, right? Stunning romantic Lauren Blackwood's heart-stopping debut Within These Wicked Walls ushers in an exciting new fantasy voice. You know, that's one thing I never understood about Jane Eyre. Having a woman, your ex-wife, not only living with you, but you keeping her locked in an attic? I kind of feel like that's a red flag that Jane Eyre like really looked over in that relationship. But, you know, whatever. It was a romance, so we'll forgive him, right? The other book that I really hope to get to, All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. This is another one that I got approved for, and this does not come out, I believe, November 9th. So I kind of like wanted to hurry up and get that one read so that I have that one kind of done, and then I only have one more and it's in December. So this is kind of like what it says. You fell in love with the victors of the Hunger Games, now prepare to meet the villains of the Blood Veil. The blood moon rises, the blood veil falls, the tournament begins. Every generation at the coming of the blood moon, 7 families in the remote city of Levernath each name a champion to compete in a tournament to the death. The prize? Exclusive control over a secret wellspring of high magic, the most powerful resource in the world, one thought long depleted. This year, thanks to a salacious tell-all book, the 7 champions are thrust into the worldwide spotlight, granting each of them new information, new means to win, and the most important, a choice, accept their fate or rewrite their story. But this is a story that must be penned in blood. I think this is the first of a series, but ever since like this one came out, I have been like kind of salivating over it, so I'm really glad that I got approved from NetGalley for that. Now I do have one more. I'm probably not going to get to it because this is already like a really intense TBR, and I try to prioritize like the stuff that was on my TBR from the month before. You guys, I am dedicated to getting you guys a vlog on tenderistheflesh because like I really want to react to this book. I think this book's going to be like craziness because it's like people eating people in a world where meat from animals has been contaminated. So I think this is like going to be like the perfect like read for the month of October, and I really wanted to get to this one. Alright, so that is my spooky TBR for the month of October. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, hit the little like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon if you guys want to receive emails every single time I post. I'm also on Amazon, Goodreads, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The dramatic pause was because I was trying to think in between everything. But those links are linked down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again very soon.